Hello and welcome to episode 2 of A Gem in Orlando. My name is Gemma Cavini and I am a Brit planning her dream Orlando trip with my lovely boyfriend Matt. I just wanted to say thank you first of all to all you lovely people that are supporting us with this podcast. So just a quick note before I begin. We are now on Patreon. That's right. You can support us even further by becoming one of our patrons and get exclusive members only content and shout outs at the end of every episode. There are 3 tiers, so if you can spare a little bit of dosh each month, that would be great. It all goes straight back into the podcast. We can start creating even more stuff for you and help you plan your dream adult parties only trip. Also, I just wanted to say I will be going into planning materials in this episode, so I will acknowledge the creators of these planning materials, but we are starting to plan our own Gem in Orlando planning materials later on. So if you're a Patreon member, keep an eye out on that. I will be doing some test runs with you guys. Also, we are now on all social media platforms, including TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So give us a follow. This helps us get the podcast out to more people. You never know how many people are going to be struggling to plan this dream holiday. And, you know, we want to get that out to as many people as we possibly can. Anyway, let's get on with the episodes. I'll start with my usual disclaimer. I am not an expert on Orlando, okay? I'm an absolute novice on this, so do follow me on this journey. So last week we spoke about when you should book, how you should book, and when you should think about getting those early plans laid down. This week we're going to go over what planning materials you'll need when starting to plan your trip, and I will touch a little on crowd calendars as well to help you find out when you should go. So the first thing to do is set out and list what theme parks and attractions you absolutely have to do on your trip. So this is your must-do attractions and theme parks. The ones that you have to do that if you never go again, you'll be happy because you know you've done it. Although I'm sure you probably will want to go again, and you probably will go again. Also, ensure you set out at least 1 day or half a day for rest and relaxation because you are going to need it. It is a very full-on active holiday. It doesn't matter how fit you are, doesn't matter how energetic you are, it is going to take it out of you. So just make sure you set aside at least 1 day or half a day for rest and relaxation. Then you're going to want to head to this amazing website called the purplepumpkinblog.co.uk. The link will be in the description of this podcast. This planner is absolutely amazing. It has the principal planner and then it has all of the labels for parks, attractions, and even restaurants. So this is absolutely free as well, but bear in mind you'll have to cut out all the labels, but this does give you flexibility to move things around once you're aware of the park hours. Also, I actually bought some principal planning materials from a seller on Etsy.com called See You at the Castle. Again, I will link these in the description. It's very cheap. It's around £3, but you get tailored Disney parks planning lists, hour-by-hour schedules, and loads of other amazing planning tools as well. So once you have your planner and your labels cut out, make a first draft plan of the parks you want to go to and your days for rest and your other attractions. I wouldn't worry too much about restaurants and things just yet. You can leave these right up until you can book your dining reservations with Disney. So remember, with Disney, it's 30 days in advance if you're staying off property, and it is 60 days in advance if you're staying on property. So just bear that in mind. Also, with deciding on your parks and attractions, have a think about what you're looking for. Is it all solely thrills you're looking for? If you're like us, we're big thrill seekers. Or are you open to some like classic slow moving attractions? You want to relive your childhood, like with It's a Small World, that kind of stuff? Or do you want a little bit of both? I think we're going to end up going for a little bit of both because, you know, motion sickness as well. We're not sure about motion sickness. We love rides and everything, but we just don't know at the moment. So yeah, just bear that in mind, what you're looking for as you're doing your first draft plan. So if you're like us and staying off property, I would Google your hotel or your villa location just so you can get a feel for what's nearby, if there are any transport links if you need them, and where your chosen parks and attractions are in proximity to your location. Even if you're driving, this is really handy just to get your bearings on that as well. Editing Gemma here. Also, just a little side note, just make sure where your local supermarket is. It doesn't matter if you're staying in a hotel or in a villa, just make sure that you've got a Target or a Walmart or something nearby so you can grab cheap essentials as well. So we here at A Gem in Orlando podcast have decided that we are doing full episodes on every single park. That is right. a single episode on all 6 Disney parks, all 3 Universal parks, SeaWorld, Aquatica, Busch Gardens, Discovery Cove. Even though we're not going to some of these attractions, we're going to do that for you. There will also be bonus episodes, so it is worth becoming a Patreon member to get those bonus episodes and little secrets and tips as well. These smaller attractions like Wonderworks, Ripley's Believe It or Not, Magical Midway, those kind of ones, we'll probably just compile that into maybe 1 or 2 episodes. They won't have as much detail or many secrets like the Disney and Universal and all the other parks do as well. So again, stay tuned for that as well. Now, we're going to talk about crowd calendars. So these are available for 2021 and 2022 up to February 2022, I believe, for Disney World. I'm struggling to find the Universal ones at the moment, but I have put a link in the podcast description for Disney ones. This is from undercovertourist.com. They're an amazing Orlando source and resource for you when you're planning your trip. So do make sure you've got them saved in your favorites as well. These are really, really handy when you're wanting less crowds. And if you don't have kids or you aren't traveling with kids, this is definitely more flexibility for you. Also, do bear in mind, if you're wanting to experience an event such as Halloween Horror Nights, which a lot of people do love, and I would love to go and see that, and I probably will at some point. We're just not doing that at this time. But these usually, just bear in mind, they usually run for a month before those big holidays. So like a month before the 31st of October. And the Christmas ones run from, I think, November to the beginning of January as well. So if you want to experience lower crowds but still enjoy the event, I would go maybe before the actual date of the event, like the 31st or the 31st of October or the 25th December. You will get lower crowds. I mean, you know, although some people do like the crowds, and that kind of adds to the atmosphere for them. If that's you, then go for it. If that's not you, just pick a date event or not where you know you'll get lower crowds. Now, I'm going to have a little bit of a confession to make here. I actually have a disability. It's my mental health, and I get really bad anxiety whilst queuing. I do have a disabled ride access pass and things like that. It's just more because of the crowds. So we decided the end of April, beginning of May was the best time for us to go. As from past trips, I know there are fewer crowds. Plus, it's also amazing weather without the hurricane season, because the hurricane season doesn't start until June. So that's why we picked that date, because that was the best for us. But something that's good for us might not work for you. So, and also I'm aware there are teachers as well that may listen to this podcast and think, well, I only have the school holidays to go. Yes, but you can still enjoy it. Maybe the Easter holidays or something like that would still work for you as well. And that, my darling friends, is the end of this episode. So what's coming up in the next one? So the next one is going to focus on what to pack, like things you wouldn't have even thought of packing, and things you maybe were going to pack and I'm probably going to tell you shouldn't pack. So definitely join us for that. We're also going to go into iDrive hotels as well, because I know a lot of us adults will probably stay in iDrive because it just really is so central to everything. Disney, Universal, SeaWorld, all that kind of stuff. All the best restaurants are in iDrive, really. And the shopping malls as well. So we are going to go over the one we are staying at as well. So do join us for that. Also, don't forget, if you can spare us just a little bit of dosh, do become a patron for us on Patreon. The link is in the description. And do check out all of our social medias. If you can't spare any cash, just follow us on social media. That will be more than enough for me. So do check all of our social medias out. I do post regularly. So yeah, thanks for joining me. And I hope to see you in the next one. So get excited. The magic rolls around fast.